Hey everybody, it's Jada on piano, where we make music make sense. Today we are talking about a transition that filled a gap for me. Stay tuned. Okay, I want to jump right in. So if any of you, I'm sure there's many of you who also watch Sean Wilson, and he did a class last Sunday, where he was doing the masterclass live session for the people on the website, and he was discussing the chord, the minor 7 flat 5 chord. Now, I'm familiar with the chord. Let me show it to you real quick. That's a minor 7 flat 5 chord. This is a minor 7 flat 5 chord. This is important because that chord is the 7 of a key, the minor 7 flat 5. Obviously, we know there's two ways to play a diminished chord. That's one. We also call this half diminished. And he talked about that too. And then this is fully diminished. So we have these two forms of diminished. If we just have the triad, it's diminished. But when you add the 7th, we consider this just simply a flat 5, looking at it from this perspective. So you've got that, but then fully diminished looks like that. So he was discussing the minor 7 flat 5 chord. The gap for me was how to transition to the minor 7 flat 5, and how he filled it. He just simply was discussing transitional opportunities. I don't even know how this just blew past me, but whatever the case, it was how he did it. It was the voicings more so than anything else, and the approach. It wasn't a fourth movement. It was a half step motion that we would expect from the fully diminished chord. Well, what he did in simple terms, let me show it. And then I'll get to a piece of a clip so you can understand what I'm talking about here. But that would be, this is the minor 7 flat 5 right here. If we were going to perhaps change it, I would use this in the key of C on a 2 chord and change that to the minor 7 flat 5. So that's a substitution, and then go there. Now let's listen to the clip so you can get the context of where the light bulb went off for me. He actually shared a piece of it in the session or on the video that you heard. Here it is.
So I'm not sure I totally understand the question. Can you repeat it?
So you were saying the first part you said was we can interchange like the minor 7 flat 5 with the minor chord. So I'm thinking like if I'm in a key, our minor chords that are already present are 3, 2, 3, and 6, right? And so if I interchange those, because I'm thinking of a larger movement, but if I interchange those and make those the minor 7 flat 5, I can still approach those with the fully diminished.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I wanted an approach to practicing. Like in a key, if I was going to practice it in the key of D, like I wanted to be focused on going to the E, the F sharp, and then the B, right?
Yeah. I mean, if you like the way that it sounds, I mean, because everything's personal. So there's some things I did today that some people aren't going to really care for. But if while I was playing, those of you who like the diminished sound, where I was moving from diminished to half diminished, and you know that you like that sound, I definitely would say add that, because you can add it before. Not only can you add it before any minor 7 flat 5, everybody, you could add it before any minor 7 flat 5 in any inversion of the minor 7 flat 5.
Okay.
And remember, a minor 6 is an inverted minor 7 flat 5, right, Maury?
Which means I can also approach that.
So there you go.
Okay, so that was the clip right there. Let me move this out of the way so we can see what's going on in the key of C. So I was showing you this to this. That would be a minor 7 flat 5 straight to the 5 and C. Well, pedal tone is what they call it. That would be the dominant, and then 1 in the key of C. So how do we get it? Again, here's our minor chord, which would be our diatonic minor chord in the key of C. All we're doing is flatting the 5, which is where you get the name minor 7 flat 5. Again, also for those, this is also called half diminished. He discussed the difference of a minor 7 flat 5 and a half diminished and where they're going to, but I just want to discuss how he approached this sound of a chord overall. If we had, he's saying this being a minor 7 flat 5, we would expect it to go to the dominant, but if we want to consider it half diminished, we would consider it going to from here to maybe the E flat minor 7, using that half step approach. So he discussed that. Now, if you want to see the whole video, it was this a recent video. It was called Master Class on the minor 7 flat 5 or something like that. Check that out to see the whole clip. If you want to see the whole session, which was over an hour long, you would have to join his website for that. So we have that, and trust me, the whole session was worth it for sure. But I'm gonna pull out just the piece that just, you know, turned on the light bulb for me. It was brilliant. He was just talking about the approach. Let me go back to this. I just showed you how to make it. Now, what he did here was went ahead and essentially this can be a drop 3, because the third note from the top, 1, 2, 3. It's the third note from the top. Okay, take it out, put it up here. Now in this version right here, check what I can do. Hear that approach? And we don't just have to stay there. What was really nice about this, these movements we hear that do this and then maybe hop back, right? So something like that. We've got that type of movement. And that was very eye-opening for me, because now I can just approach the 7 chord. I don't have to just leave it, just go here. I've got something to approach. And with this jumping around, so you can jump around a while. You know, you can practice those types of things with that move. That's fantastic. Now, to the questions that I was asking, that would be, if I was in the key of C, like I'm showing this right now, that would be on the 2, okay? Going to the 2, because it was a minor chord, and that's what I replaced, was the minor chord. So my question was, can we go, if I can approach the minor 7 flat 5, which is replacing a minor chord in this case, with the fully diminished chord, should I be focusing on the 2, 3, and 6? Well, that was the 2. If I did it going to the 3 in the key of C, and then so this is the, and I'm doing it wrong, but this would be the approach going to the 3. That's 3 right there. But let's try it. Real quick, that's going to the 3. If I did it on the 6, I would have to approach with this. Let me see which. Oh, make it half diminish. I don't know if I'm going to like this as well, but let's see. That would be going to the 6. So I haven't experimented with the 6 yet, because it's only been a few days. I've been sitting here practicing my approaches to just, first of all, I just started with one single chord so far, and I was approaching literally just this. And then you see that? So that's the fully diminished. So going here, but then switch. You see that? And then finally getting to a 5, something like that, or that, or that. You know, I've been trying different methods of approaching. Now, what I'm going to do here, so you can hear this in context of a song, let me take a couple of very simple, easy songs and see what I was saying as far as a larger movement. This is where the bells were going off, okay? Still in the key of C. So something like Hallelujah. You know, I use that song a lot, right? Right? Watch. Right. We're right back there. So I used it to go to the 3 in this case. That was easy for me. Just a quick approach. Right. So that was using it going to the 3. And it looks like going to the, perhaps using the progression 3-6-2-5 would be really easy because we're just slipping something in right before it. Let me go to anointing, also used frequently here. Right here, I can use it. So that's me switching the chord. So let's do it again. No, that's not what I want. Hold on. Right. So you're watching me work this out in real time. So that was another example of going to the 3. What would that have been if I didn't go to the 3? So you can see exactly where what's happening here. I can use a 1, first inversion, right? So, but my bass note was the E, right? If I did before now, I would use this or sharp 9, sharp 5, sharp 9. What else? Straight minor chord, right? So any of those options. But now I can sit here and approach, because look at this. The melody note is the G. That's still in this chord, and in this case at the top of the chord. So we've got options with that to just literally substitute the chord and add in an entire larger movement. If you're wondering, this movement is coming from the key of F, because that's the 7 in F. Okay, so look at it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, that's the 7 in F. Okay, and that's where I'm getting the idea of the 7-3-6. And then I, walk that up like we do. Well, when I get back here, all of these notes, this chord is in, I substitute that one as well, but this chord is in C and this chord is in C. When we get back here, we're in C anyway. So I just, put that in, and that's why these larger movements were getting, making me think about different ideas to use this. Let's go to something else. How great is our God? Now this is where I go when I play the song. Okay, that's the song. I can put this in and create this out of thin air as well. Since I know I'm going right here, let's try it again and get that same movement going there, because this note isn't present in this song, or this bass note isn't present in this song yet. So see? So I was going to the 2, but I put that whole movement in there to lead me to the 2, and I was able to lead to the 7 instead of how I normally would do it, which is just if I just normally went to the 7, just go straight there, and then this is a dominant. Both of these chords they're additions, but then this is a substitution in the middle of the addition to this progression, because all we have is very simple chords in this song. So I'm adding to it, but I substituted because normally our 7 is diminished or minor 7 flat 5, and then 3 is minor. Well, because I wanted to transition to here as the ultimate ending space, I also made this a dominant. Okay, so it's a substituted chord. Okay, just so you know. So in fact, I want to bring that point out. That's part of the reason why I mentioned it, because that gives me total possibilities. In fact, every single time I've talked about secondary dominants before, which is what this would technically be, because it's going here. A secondary dominant is any chord that is any dominant chord that is going to another target chord. Okay, so yes, this chord is in the key, but right now, because I want to transition to this target, I'm using it as a secondary dominant. Okay, but that means with this thought process now, instead of just thinking of the secondary dominant, I can go back one chord and make the half diminished, the what are we calling it? The minor 7 flat 5, the half diminished chord. I can make that a chord that transitions me to my dominant chord, because we already said this form here wants to go to a dominant, right? In some way. So now every time I get ready to use a secondary dominant, see, this is the wheel. This is how my mind is working for this. Every time I'm using a secondary dominant, I can go to that minor 7 flat 5 before I get there, but I can also approach the secondary dominant. Last thing he said was, not only can you approach the secondary not only can you approach the minor 7 flat 5 with the half step, like I said, you can do it in all inversions, and we kind of did that. And then is that all on 3? I feel like there's one more. Oh yeah, this one. Is that the right thing? Yeah, that's right. That one I like the least because of the positioning of the whole thing, but it works as well. So you can use that same thing to go. You're just using the different inversions. And then last one. There we go. And then using that. So that's the gap that was filled for me. I have been working on it in the key of C, in the key of D, and then just in general thinking about these chords and these inversions of the half diminished. No, the inversions of the fully diminished are all. They happen to be all drop 2s. So if I put this back in, see that? And then it approaches. So, and then that helps me see them as well. So I'm working on those. That's something that you can be working on as well this week. Approaching that 7 chord. I'm working on some different exercises. Again, like I said, let me know how you use the half diminished and particularly the diminished. Let me know if you use that in your playing. If you've known this, if it was just me, maybe I'm late to the party, but this is about to, it changed the game for me. You're going to start hearing this type of thing a lot more from me in my playing, But this is the start of it. You saw it first here. You guys take care. You have a blessed week.